Your bell work for today asks, in what ways was Roman culture a continuation of Greek culture? We are going to spend the day looking at the Roman Imperial economy, and this is still in the Classical Roman Mediterranean unit. All right, so if you were in person, we would discuss this at tables, but I'm just going to kind of talk it out with you. What does a city or country need in order to have in place a market? I read that really weird. What do they need to have in place in order to have a market on a large scale, right? So a market's somewhere you buy or sell things. So any type of commerce, trade, what does a city or country need? Think about it. See if you have any answers in your own head. We're looking for things like common currency, right? So if you're going to go to a market and buy something, you have to have the same understanding of the value of your money as does the person who you're purchasing the goods from, right? It's helpful to have a common language. It's helpful to have common measuring, right? So if you're going to buy an ounce or a gallon or 3 pounds of rice, right? Then do they have the same ability to measure the same units? Do you have security, right? Do you have the ability to know that your goods at that market that you're selling, for example, are safe there? Do they have security in the sense that, let's say you're in a city and you're a mom and you have a baby and you need to buy milk, what how do you know if you can go to the store and find it, right? Do they have like an ongoing supply? Do they have a consistent supply? Transportation or facilities, right? Like, do you have to have roads in place or ports where you can ship goods in and out? Do you need storage buildings or places where things can stay cold or whatever, right? So those are all the things we're looking for. Okay, so we are going to look at two sources today to help structure your observations. Just consider what you see, think, or wonder. Our typical observation activity. Just ensure that you are looking, again, I just want to reiterate, you need to look at the description and the source itself. So sometimes the description gives you as much information as the source, right? So if you're looking at a map, it's a lot more helpful to know about the map. So if you read the description, it tells you who created it or when it was created or what it's a map of, for example, right? So source 7, so our description, is the modern day copy of a Roman imperial measuring table that was preserved as a result of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 CE or Common Era. The Roman Empire standardized measurements by using the same mold to create relatively identical tables, and then they would transport these tables throughout the empire. So take a moment, jot down what you see, what you think, what you wonder, what stands out. What are your initial observations, your first impressions? Once you're done with that, come on back and unpause the video. All right, so question number 1, what is the purpose of the standardized table? Why were other empires, such as the Qin and China, developing similar methods of measurement? So we learned about the Qin dynasty, but why would they be developing similar measurement tools? All right, source 8 is both of these pieces. So they're letters from Pliny the Younger to Emperor Trajan and then from the emperor back. So Pliny says, the elegant and beautiful city of Amastris, sir, has among other principal constructions a very fine street and of considerable length, on one entire side which runs what is called indeed a river, but is in fact no other than a vile common sewer, extremely offensive to the eye, and at the same time very pestilential on the account of its noxious smell. It will be advantageous, therefore, in point of health, as well as decency, to have it covered, which shall be done with your permission. The emperor writes back to him, it is highly reasonable, my dearest Pliny, if the water which runs through the city of Mastris is harmful, while uncovered, to the health of the inhabitants, that it should be covered up. I am well assured you will, with your usual application, take care that the money necessary for this work shall not be wanting. So for this one, go ahead and jot down your initial observations. What did you hear? What do you think? What do you wonder? What stands out? What's your initial impression, really? Question 2 says, compare the intended audience in the letters between Pliny and Emperor Augustus' inscription. So what that means is compare source 8 to source 6, what we looked at when we did the penance. So source 6 was the one where Augustus talked about all of his accomplishments. Um, so those two sources. Which source is more likely to provide a more accurate account of situations in the Roman Empire, and why do you think that? Take a moment and write that down. All right, once you're done with that, hopefully you were able to kind of understand or analyze that source 8, the one we just read. Um, these are personal correspondences between him and the emperor. So he needs to let him know what the real issues are. If there's something wrong going on, like this disgusting river, then he needs to be honest and transparent about it so that he can do something about it. So he's going to tell the emperor the truth and not sugarcoat anything, right? Where source 6, which was Emperor Augustus's inscription, where he's like speaking to the public, he's trying to leave behind a legacy of his leadership, right? So in that case, he's going to make everything seem amazing and highlight all these accomplishments that he's done. All right, question 3 and 4. How do the sources you've examined generally reflect the Roman government's efforts to address the cultural and practical needs of their citizens? And you can use any of the sources from this unit, so if something stands out to you from the other day, that's fine too. And then number 4, using the information provided by the sources and it's not really classroom discussion, but my video discussion, revise this simple sentence into a single sophisticated claim supported by detailed evidence. So I'm giving you the sentence, the Roman government did things. You need to take that and sophisticate it, right? So jazz it up by giving me some details. What are you talking about? And I say this in class all the time. I'm not sure I've said this in a video yet, but I have an 8-year-old, right? He's in 3rd grade, and he'll come down the stairs and he'll be like, Mom, the guy said if we do the thing one time, then the next time we can do the other thing with the other person. And I'm like, what in the world are you talking about? Literally no details, no nouns, no adjectives. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. So yeah, the Roman government did things. Like, what things did it do? Give me some details. Once you're done with that, actually, let me see if there's another slide. Yeah. Once you're done with that, you're going to go read the reading for that's attached to your worksheet. It's called U.S. infrastructure versus Roman infrastructure. So I would say start this reading, and then tomorrow we're actually going to finish it. It's a 2-day thing because in class we're kind of doing some data chats and getting caught up on some grades. So I would take this as an opportunity, either finish it today and get it submitted and then tomorrow work on makeup work, or take a break once you're done with this, look at what you're missing, get that started, and then tomorrow you can do the reading, however you choose to do it. That's it. Have a great day. Bye.